Hello, I am Rich Voltz, Associate Director with the Illinois Association of School Administrators. I have developed a 6-step method for administrators to follow for effective implementation of the Danielson Frameworks. While all teacher evaluators in Illinois had to pass the mandated Teachscape training in order to evaluate teaching, this training did not include best practices in actually doing this work at the building level. Performance-based teacher evaluation is very complicated and is a totally different paradigm than traditional one-and-done teacher evaluation. One-and-done is the old compliance way of conducting teacher evaluation. The teacher evaluator arranged with the teacher what date the evaluation would occur. The teacher and evaluator would meet in a pre-conference to discuss the class and students to be taught. The evaluator would observe and then write up the evaluation and then tell the teacher what they did well and what they need to improve on. The teacher endured the process and then went about doing their independent contractor work. This new system takes a much bigger commitment of time and energy by both the teacher evaluator and the teacher. Even though the law requires only one informal and one formal observation for tenured teachers, and one informal and 2 formal evaluations for non-tenured teachers, much more is required to give the teacher fundamental due process because of the stakes of this summative evaluation. The following 6 steps are suggested for teacher evaluators to enhance the experience for the teacher and ultimately lead to better instruction and student growth. These steps are an integral part of making teacher evaluation a professional development experience and not a compliance experience. The first step is concentrate on the correct domain and component. According to Danielson, Domain 3, instruction, is the heart of the frameworks. And 3C, engaging students in learning, is the heart of the frameworks. If the teacher evaluator will concentrate on 3C, engaged learning, when observing teaching, the evaluator will be able to see how the other 21 components in Danielson's frameworks all support student engagement. Student engagement, defined by Danielson, is the student intellectually involved in the learning. It is learning, not doing. It is minds-on, not hands-on. The second step is get buy-in on the process. When designing this new teacher evaluation process within a school district, it is crucial to have teachers involved from the beginning in the selection, training, and implementation of all the evaluation steps and processes. Training teacher leaders with teacher evaluators is critical to the ultimate success of the implementation of performance-based teacher evaluation. The third step is change the focus of who is being observed. Most teacher evaluators script and critique the performance of the teacher. It is suggested that teacher evaluators script what students are learning as a result of what the teacher is doing. Evaluators should make sure they can see the faces and eyes of the students when they are in the classrooms. Evaluators should script what students are learning, what their minds are on, how they are asking and answering questions, how they are participating in individual and whole class assessments, and how they are leading their own learning. Almost all of the Danielson critical attribute descriptors start with the word students in the distinguished column. So the evaluator needs to gather evidence of what students are doing as the teacher is leading the classroom. Thus, the evaluator needs to have observational notes of student work. The fourth step is observe more. As noted previously in this presentation, evaluation law only requires one informal and one formal observation for a tenured teacher. To be fundamentally fair to the teacher in this new high-stakes evaluation process, the evaluator needs to make multiple observations, both informal and formal. More informal observations are needed to make sure that the teacher has embedded the student-centered tenets into his or her everyday teaching. More formal observations are needed to give the teacher additional opportunities to improve their teaching. It is not fair to the teacher if the evaluator finds a critical mistake during one observation and uses as negative information or evidence to rate the teacher low. One bad observation out of one total observation is 100% bad. One bad observation out of 10 observations is 10% bad. These are totally different scenarios and will lead to trust between the teacher and the evaluator. The value of multiple observations has recently been recorded in a study concerning teacher evaluation. Some of the findings from the study are, first of all, when teacher evaluators give compliments to teachers or high fives, they develop a trust and relationship with the teacher. So evaluators need to be certain that they are giving complimentary comments to teachers when they see positive teaching behavior. When teacher evaluators are in the classroom on a regular basis, that makes the teacher evaluator visible in the school, which is a very good trait for administrators to have. These frequent observations, both informal and formal, lead to rich professional learning discussions between the teacher and the evaluator. There must be time for the teacher to self-reflect on their own performance in order to be able to grow. Just like we want students to be doing the learning concerning the curriculum that the student is having in the classroom, so does the teacher need to reflect and do the learning on their own teaching competencies. The instructional conversations that occur between the teacher and the evaluator show that the evaluator is interested in the instructional tenets of the teacher and to good instructional techniques which lead to good student learning. And in the end, we will be much more successful as teacher evaluators by coaching and mentoring our teachers to get better rather than telling them to get better. The fifth step is reflection is the key. It does little good for an evaluator to observe a class, write evidence down, send the evidence to the teacher, and expect the teacher to self-improve without discussion. Just like we expect students to be involved in the learning, teachers need to be involved in their own learning. Each time an administrator observes, they must meet with the teacher and allow the teacher an opportunity to reflect on their own teaching. This is for informal observations as well as formal observations. Individuals learn because of what they do and what they commit to, not what we tell them to do. The sixth and final step is know when to play the proper role. When evaluators are meeting with teachers and the teacher is reflecting about their teaching and has suggestions for improvement, the evaluator is wearing a coaching hat. The teacher is demonstrating that they have the ability to critically analyze their own work and develop strategies and steps for improved classroom instruction and student learning. Teachers new to the profession often do not have the capacity because of limited experience to reflect and determine their own solutions. In these cases, the evaluator wears a mentor hat and suggests solutions to the new teacher. Then in some cases, the veteran teacher either refuses to reflect or does not have the capacity to reflect and suggest their own strategies for improvement. And in these cases, the evaluator wears the tell hat. The evaluator has to tell the teacher how to improve. If a teacher evaluator follows these 6 steps of performance-based teacher evaluation, then professional development opportunities will become an opportunity to improve our teaching and learning, not just a compliance act. So in summary, we have to know when to coach, when to mentor, and when to tell. We coach when teachers are willing to improve their own performance and reflect on their own teaching behavior. We mentor those new to the profession to help them along the way. And we tell when teachers are at the unsatisfactory or at the needs improvement level because they need to develop the skills in order to improve to the proficiency level.